to last question. I want to ask you about the role of advisors to the Minister of Police in particular in this case. Minister Mkhunu had said that he had gotten his letter, or at least his advisor had looked at the letter, assured of its legality and appropriateness. How are these advisors appointed? How do you think they should be appointed? And then is there any process to keep advisors in check in the ministries? To whom do they account beyond the principal? I'm asking this because you remember during the Zondo Commission, Judge Zondo obviously had some very scathing remarks about the role of advisors. What is your view about role of advisors in the police service ministry in particular?
Well, I would not change the approach that ministers must employ their advisors. Part of it, besides the skills, is a trust issue. I don't think I can employ Mpangazita as my advisor. I don't think so, because the advisor must be aligned.
Point of order, Chair. May I please plead for your protection?
Point of order, sustain Mpangazita. Let's hear the point of order.
May I please be protected?
That attack was very massive, Chair.
No, Chair,
General, the point of order is sustained. Mpangazita has demonstrated his abilities to serve in that responsibility.
So we'll have to be aligned. It will have to go beyond, is one person that you go beyond the working relationship. You reach something called trust. That if you do something wrong because of the advice you have given, the first thing that must come in your mind, you say, he made or she made a mistake, should not come to the idea to say, you trapped me. So that is a level of trust. So I don't think that the format of employing people with skills but with trust must be changed when it comes to the minister. That also takes the chief of staff, which is the life of you running that particular thing. But the problem, those people sometimes, they do take advantage of converting their ministers to parrots. You think the minister is still running the department, yet is an advisor or is a chief of staff. So yourself, you need to keep the balance, and now and again remind your advisor, stroke your chief of staff, to remember I'm still a minister. I hear you, but I'm still a minister. I think they easily cross the line, especially the advisors sometimes.
In fact, that's where I wanted to go to, because we received testimony about Mr. Nkabinde, who was the chief of staff, actively participating, I think, in management meetings, in meetings with the commissioners. Is this standard practice in the South African Police Service that the advisors, there was no such accusation against Advocate Bheki Cele, but that you would have the chief of staff actively engaging, participating, literally being part of the management of the department?
Management, I'm not sure. They can't participate in the management of the department. But Chief of Staff, honorable member, needs to sift things before they come to the minister. For instance, there are people that because my chief of staff was a she or he will meet you and say, sorry, ma'am, this thing does not belong to the Minister of Police. Can you go to the Minister of Social Development? So that's a job to do so. But also, people can approach the Chief of Staff and say, can we see the Minister? And it's correct for Chief of Staff to know why are you going to see the Minister. If they see the Minister and begin to say, can you say this and that to the minister? You could say, Minister, they want to see for this and that. And you say, look, we are not a chief of staff for that. Or you can say, bring them. So those are the things. And slowly but surely. The problem with these things of getting in the wrong side, there is no alarm bell that rings that you have crossed the line. You keep just moving slowly, slowly, until you are very deep on it. So if we have people that they don't only think about the best of you as a minister, but themselves trying to find what is there for us because we're in the ministries, we are in trouble.
Thanks, General. Let me make a specific example based on testimony. And really, we're drawing on your knowledge, having been in that office. So when you're discussing an operation like the political killings task team, whether to disband it or not, would it have been usual or unusual for the chief of staff to actively participate and even have an opinion or advance an opinion contrary to that of the generals? Is something like that the norm?
That can't happen. Chief of staff, if he has anything to say, can speak on my ear, but he can't come and tell generals what to do and not to do. The worst that the chief of staff can say that I'll take this to the minister. That's the worst. But to come with his or her opinion with the generals, no, that can't happen. Remember, she is a political office. Then becomes an interference then.
Thank you very much, General. So you came back in 2018 at the tail end of the 5th administration. You ran through the 6th administration. In 2018, there were a number of reforms that government, led by the President and yourself, committed to, especially around strengthening the criminal justice system, strengthening SAPS. Do you think that those reforms are bearing fruit at all, General? If not, what do you need to do? If so, how are they bearing fruit?
Honorable members, one thing that police and the justice system as a whole, they need is money. It's money. They need money to be able to do their work. You know, I've been going to every or many countries in terms of policing. If you go to China, every member of community in China walks to police station. They walk. So that's how police stations are situated. Everybody walks in the police station. Nobody takes public transport to go to police station. In South Africa, sometimes you take two taxis to go to police station. You pay 50 rand going, and you pay 50 rand coming back, and you get it 350 a month. So what people would not do then is to report crime because they have no enabling environment to do it. What do I mean by that? Police station must be accessible to people. There must be police station everywhere so that South Africans are able to walk to police station. That needs money. That's one. Two, again, if you go to China, every corner you will find a police standing. That's what is called visibility. I've heard the so-called experts saying visibility is not the main, is the main anchor of policing. When you drive around and you see a blue light or you see the police, you readjust yourself. All of us here, when you go and you see a blue light, you take you took a belt and all that. Visibility has an impact in policing. Now, you can't have visibility when the ratio of the police is 1:400, which I guess that's a ratio. The normal UN ratio should be 1:200. South Africa is doubled. So which means there are not enough police. So we need money to train the police. But one other thing that we need is money to keep and protect the police. The question asked by Honourable Member Souls. We don't have to be contesting the loyalty of our members and the private security or private companies, whatever. We don't, because they are fine, they are satisfied, and all that kind of thing. So, not only that, I don't know how many judges are in South Africa. You know, there are cases that are finished 5, 6, 10 years. And you hear the judge postponing in July and said we'll be here in July next year. And you ask the question, they say there are no judges. So, which means there must be judges, but also there must be courts for that. There must be prosecutors, enough prosecutors and all that, not finding the prosecutor running from A to B and all that. So we'll have to put some money on the things for anything to begin to work. And then we'll have to sit down and say, this money goes to these reforms. And these reforms are 1, 2, 3, and these are outcomes. So it doesn't help much to come with any form of reforms and you don't fund those reforms.
Thank you very much, General. My last question then. There was an allegation that had been made against you by General Mkhwanazi, which he subsequently withdrew. General, what did you think or feel when that allegation was made, and do you accept General Mkhwanazi's apology?
Chairperson, I was told yesterday evening that everybody wants to be Kumalo because they say former Minister Celis loves Kumalo and defends him. Honourable Member, one police officer I like is Mkhwanazi. Not because he's Mkhwanazi, not because he's beautiful or what, no. Because he knows his work. But Mkhwanazi is a human being like me and you. He's got his faults. I think one problem that has happened about Mkhwanazi is the South African society that have sang him hallelujah. And as a human being, you would love to float in the clouds of popularity. And out of that, you begin to make mistakes. I've said to you, some of the things, Mkhwanazi is a tough nut as a human being because that's how we train. I've sat down with him. Mkhwanazi had said to me, I'm sorry, Minister. I don't think that many people can find that from Mkhwanazi. But that does not make him a holy person. And I believe that the mistakes he made are genuine mistakes. What do you want me to say about him, to do to him, I would not. I believe. I have not seen him. I am planning to see him. But as I'm sitting here, I believe that he made a genuine mistake. And then if you make a mistake, and I believe it's a mistake, yes, you need to be pardoned. But I have not arrived there. But I have arrived in the understanding that he made a genuine mistake. I hope it's not philosophical.
No, it's not. It's not, Minister. It's just that I suppose operating in the environment that you do as police, there's added responsibility, on some of these things which are then made public. But thank you very much, Minister.
Thanks.
I have no further questions, Chairperson, and I'm 20 minutes early. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Sangon. Thank you so much. Honorable members, the Chief Whip and Honorable Breitenbach have agreed to swap their positions. So we are going to take Honorable Breitenbach. And Honorable Breitenbach, your time starts now and ends at 1 o'clock. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And good morning again. Oh, it's afternoon. Good afternoon, Jen.
Afternoon, honorable member.
So, Mr. Cele, you're very good at this. I mean, this isn't the first time I've seen you in action. And you're very good at this. You sit there with a lot of confidence. You speak your mind, which is not a bad quality. And you're knowledgeable, so you do very well at this kind of thing. But this morning you were quick to retract the fact that you'd said that you knew Matlala very well. You were quick to say, perhaps not very well. So I'd like to explore with you why you initially said very well, because you're a seasoned campaigner, you're no child, you've been around the block, and you're an experienced human being as well as an experienced in the security cluster. So why would you have said I know him very well when now you say you don't know him so very well?
Well, in reflection, honorable member, is that it could not be that a person that you know 3 or 4 months would know that person very well. There are quite few things that can make you know you very well. Firstly, is time that makes you very well. Secondly, is my extra association with you. For instance, knowing your family, knowing where you live, knowing how you live, taking drinks together and all that, how if you have taken the drink, you behave and all that kind of thing. If it's only I've met you in a form of a semi-work, maybe meeting, maybe in a hotel, maybe in that particular room, then it cannot be very well. So it's on reflection and on, again, tapping on the understanding that human beings do make mistakes. But the real matter is that when you realize that that has happened, is to say, yes, I made a mistake, very well is a mistake.
Fair enough. Human beings do make mistakes. But I find it a little hard to believe that when you met him, as you say, for the first time in December, that prior to that you didn't know about him. Did you know about him without having met him?
I did explain that it would take about 2 weeks that I've known when I read the story about Tembisa and him getting the contract of the police. Before that, I didn't know him.
Nothing at all?
Not zero.
You never heard of him?
Zero.
Okay. So would it surprise you to know that he has quite a record, a criminal record? Well, not necessarily a criminal record, but a history of brushing with the police, and not in the positive sense.
With all the evidence I have read, it's about a number 18 with withdrawals, with acquittals and all that. I've seen, and that's why at one statement that I've made that I wonder how he flew below the radar for me when it comes to that situation.
Yes, well, I'm wondering the same thing. Do you have an explanation?
The crux of the matter that I didn't know about him. But honorable member, maybe again without being arrogant, we'll know about many things, but there are many things that we wouldn't know about it. One person that I didn't know about it, but seems to be big in the crime world is Mlife himself. He looks big when you hear who he is. He has been in London with a fraudulent documents, arrested in London. You must be big to be arrested in London for South Africa. But I didn't know anything about him too.
Okay. And having read about Matlala's involvement at the Tembisa Hospital tender and knowing what we know about the facts surrounding Tembisa Hospital, and you still felt comfortable staying in his flat?
You mean then or after I've had that information?
After you read it.
No, definitely. The ideas and behavior that I had then is different. Is definitely different from my attitude and my behavior towards him now.
Okay, so would you go and stay in one of his properties now?
No.
No. Okay. So he's not your friend, Finish and Klaar?
He has never been a friend.
Oh, okay. Now, you said at the beginning of your evidence that Richard Mdluli was suspended by you. Why did you suspend him?
I can't remember whether it was charged or was being investigated for the case of murder somewhere. Was it West or East Rand?
Kempton Park.
Yeah. But
Aparamagibe.
there was an issue about him. I think he was charged by then. And then you could not then have a head of crime intelligence charged and still running the crime intelligence. He had to be suspended.
Okay. Miraculously, those charges were withdrawn.
Honorable member, I really don't know. You know, police have been suffering. Police have been suffering because your world prosecution, you have been doing things and flying below the radar. I think the latest suspension, if in your world, in Gauteng, is a big one.
Yes.
Is a big one.
Oh, yes, certainly. Rather late than never.
And it's not new. And it's not new. The information that is suspended about and all the kind of stuff. So you sit here, since I've been in this environment, you sit here that police, you have done the good job. I wonder what happens to the next segment. You see here in Western Cape, police were very frustrated about Tembe matter. They believe that they had a case. They were told more than many times to go dot the I's and cross the T's. They did that more than many times. And they went back and somebody said, you go and do this. So whoever was doing that today, they believe that there was a protection of somebody by the prosecution. So you sit there and the police, they come back and cry. It is underscored that one time I met the Minister of Justice and DPP. I met them. And I said, that's what police are saying. One thing they say they arrest people, special cash house people. And the IO meets these people on the road and say, hello. I say, but you were in prison. He said, no, I'm out of the... They say, what happened? They say, if you look how cash house people get bails, they get bails on the small courts most of the time, if you follow their record. What happens, they go to the main court, it's opposed and all that, you lose, you fail the bail, you are arrested. But prosecutors and the lawyers for these guys, they started together. So what they do, they move it from the main court where they did not get the bail and go to some court in some corner and don't call the IO, and it goes there unopposed and they get the bail. So it's a whole system that is giving us problem. So you say, how did I feel? Sometimes you feel numb because you know it might happen.
Yes, I don't deny that the whole system is broken. Mr. Cele, I agree with you. That there are problems in all the departments, the police, the NPA, justice, correctional services, that we really do need to overhaul them all from the bottom up. And as you say, it's going to take a lot of money. and a lot of will. But really, the matter was then withdrawn against him by some miracle. It was later sent for an inquest.
And send you home.
I forget where
Okay.
it was. And we all know that an inquest is a very watered-down version of a matter. And then when it came back with a recommendation that it be prosecuted, somehow again, miraculously, the murder charge disappeared. And he was convicted of, eventually, I think, kidnapping and assault. Now, you and I both know that if you can prove assault, you can prove murder. If you assault someone and he dies, you can prove murder.
Yes?
But he got convicted of assault. And Opera Makibe is dead today with no justice.
And the real story we know was murder.
Yeah. But let's leave that there. Do you think that it's a mere coincidence that more than 12, probably around 18 cases have been withdrawn against Mr. Matlala over the years?
Knowing him now, absolutely, I don't believe that is incident is coincidence.
So there's something rotten with the system.
Knowing who Matlala himself is, and the power of money that he commands.
Well, the power of money that he commands impressed you because you went to stay in his fancy flat for free.
No, I was impressed by the accommodation. I didn't know at the time that he has so much money.
Well, that kind of accommodation, you and I both know, doesn't come cheap.
I agree.
Do you regret having this relationship with Mr. Matlala, or this acquaintanceship, or whatever you want to call it?
I think somebody hurt me yesterday, though I said that, why did I meet him? I'm sure life would have been much easier if I did not meet him. So you sit here, you reflect, and you say, it could have been better having not met him.
Hindsight is the perfect sight, we know this. You're still peripherally involved with the police, as you should be. As you said, it would be irresponsible to not be. Lieutenant General Sabia has said that these allegations of General Makwenazi is a manifestation of a factional battle for power in the police. Do you agree?
I don't agree with your first statement that I'm still involved. I try to run hard and far away as I can.
Yes, but you can't.
I try to run very far. Honorable Member, I did say, and I want to repeat, that is a taxing and sapping environment to work with the police there. So if you get any opportunity of being away from there, take it and run. But you kept brought back all the time. The police, I guess, like all other families, have people that have egos, and they've got egos, and they've got their thinking, but also ambitions. Ambitions, because I would not dismiss that the two positions might have some kind of a price, and what they've put us here, the incoming national commissioner and the incoming head of Hawks. I would not. And there is a name that keeps coming that I think Sbia did agree that he would love to be a head of Hawks.
He did, yes.
I think he agreed on that. Yeah. So, but Sbia would think that somebody else might be a competitor to it. And I have heard that they would suspect that Nhlanhla must be there. Maybe that's why himself has made a statement that he doesn't want to be. So once you have those ambitions, there will be clash of yourself working towards that. Honorable Member Methods was to ask the question that she didn't ask. What is the role of the commissar? One of the role of the commissar, the leader, is to keep peace within the organization. So if yourself, you are not sure whether you can keep peace, the soldiers and those that you are supposed to take care of them, they will go astray, as it has happened with the police. But anybody that denies that there are petty wars, quite bitter going on the police, would not be living with us. But the only problem, those battles are dangerous and they leave South Africans very, very vulnerable.
I agree. Makwenazi was the acting National Commissioner before,
Yes.
and then he didn't get the job, but went to Bheki.
He
Is that
didn't.
correct?
He didn't.
Yeah. I'm sure that he would like that job now.
Well, not of, human beings are human beings, but not from him. He has time and again said that finishing here, he wants to go home, finishing where he is now. But there is nothing that has validated that statement, but there is no different statement that has come from him when it comes to that. But he has said time and again that he would love to go home, finishing where he is now.
I think we'd all love to go home. Do you know the head of the South African Police Legal Services, Simo Shamani?
Very well.
Very well.
That one is very well.
That one's very well. You sure? Sure.
Double sure.
Very well. Okay. Was this a regular appointment or was it a job for a pal?
Maybe let's start. Who appointed him?
I don't know. You tell me.
Maybe I'll repeat, and I'll expect that by now, most of us will know that National Commissioner appoints.
Okay. So do you think the appointment was a regular appointment or was it a job for a pal? Simo Shamani was certainly not the most experienced person in the group that was available for that job.
I think he's an advocate. Yes, he is an
There are
advocate.
many people here who are advocates too, and they've never practiced law, so it doesn't mean a thing.
No, he did practice. He did practice. Before he joined the government, he had a practice as an advocate. So I think in terms of skills, he would qualify, and the education and all that. So what I could question and I do not know will be a process, him going there. But that is underqualified. I would not agree with it.
Okay. It is said, and that's the best I can do, it is said that Shamani is your bag man. Do you have any comment about that?
Bank?
Bag man.
What is a bagman?
A bag man is a person...
What they call...
A bagman is a person who collects or delivers illicit payments, often for organized crime, corrupt officials, or political campaigns.
That is going too far. Whoever gave you that statement.
But you can deny it.
But I'm prefacing it to say whoever said so is very malicious,
Okay.
and that doesn't come close to whatever that person is saying.
Okay, that's fine. You can just deny it. I'm happy with it.
It's absolutely not there.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am done. Honourable Carla Barnard has one or two questions to ask, and I have to go. So I thank you for the accommodation, and especially I thank Mr. Ntuli for accommodating me. Thank you, Mdu.
Thank you so much, Honorable Breitenbach. What you must do, you must leave the meeting immediately, because in your presence, Kola Barnard is not a member of the committee. Yeah. Thank you so much. This is the only time she would be able to use the time that has been allocated.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Chair. No. My apology for interrupting Honorable Kwalapana, but I think you certainly owe us a clarification of the question that I'm going to pose, because on previous occasions when we were discussing the issue of the participation of Honorable Kwalapanat, the DA brought to the committee a legal opinion. And I thought that we were all of the same mind that let's rather have that matter also subjected to the Parliamentary Legal Division so that we get a legal opinion coming from Parliament as opposed to a political party. Now, I'm not aware whether we have received that, and my concern will be we should not take a decision and not follow up on its implementation. If I have missed that legal advice of Parliament on the matter, I would be quite comfortable that we proceed. But if it has not been provided, I think that it would be inappropriate for us to take decisions and proceed without having finalized those decisions to the extent that they should. So that's the clarity I need from you, Chair. Thanks.
Honorable Skosana.
Ngiyakuthokoza mgcini isihlalo. Ngicabanga ukuthi kwakhulunywa njalo ukuthi indaba le iza kuhlathululwa kuhle yaka honorable. Ngingazike ukuthi mhlambe ke sekutshentshile ngoba kwakhulunywa njalo khona Chair ukuthi indaba le iza kubuyelelwa. Ngamanye amagama ngitsho ukuthi ngivuma no chief whip we largest party uthi ngicabanga ukuthi sakhuluma njalo nje ngiyakuthokoza.
No, honorable members would remember that a legal opinion was presented in that meeting. And the decision of the meeting was that we will live with what we have until there is any other view to the contrary of what was presented to us. And we even said that if members wish to make further submissions, they can make those submissions, and then the legal team of Parliament will come and give us a feedback on the considerations they would have made to those submissions. And so far, we have not got any feedback contrary to what has been presented. And I will want us to proceed. If there is the day we have a meeting, we can get a report from the legal team of Parliament. But so far, there has not been any official report on the feedback that has been presented before the committee. And I'm going to persuade you, Chief Whip, that for now we live with what we have. Honorable Sangol.
Chief Whip, and again, please, we're not disrespecting the chair. It's on the legal opinion itself, and if we are incorrect, we can just be corrected. Our understanding was that the legal opinion that had been presented to us dealt with the matters that were referring to the apprehension of bias as it related to Honorable Shekeling and Honorable Skosan. And it was that legal opinion that we agreed that we will live with what we have, as you're currently saying, which is why Honorable Skosana has been participating. On the issue of Honorable Diane Kohler-Barnett, we received a legal opinion from the DA. And I remember that the meeting rejected the legal opinion from the DA, saying that we cannot ask the DA to bring us a legal opinion in Parliament, if needs be, can then bring that particular legal opinion. So our previous position, as it related to Honourable Kola Barnett, was not changed by any legal opinion from Parliament because we had not received such. Thank you, Chair.
You are very right, Honourable Member, that in that meeting, the legal opinion from the DA was not part of the official documents from Parliament. It was a document that was circulated for members to interact with. We agreed very well that the only document relevant in that meeting was the legal opinion that the legal team of Parliament presented. And that legal opinion dealt with 3 matters. It was the matter of members who would have opened cases against witnesses. And then it was also a matter of members against whom there will be reasonable perception of bias, and the third was that whether such members could participate in the proceedings and even go to an extent of asking questions. Those were the 3 matters that we referred to the legal team. And then in the responses that the legal team gave, or the report or the opinion that the legal team gave, it dealt with all those matters. And the decision that the committee has taken was that, maybe even without going to individual names of members, to say the opinion that we have now says we can go ahead and allow members to participate. If I'm not misrepresenting you, Andile. And so the understanding is that not until the committee has received anything to the contrary of what was presented, the committee will continue to live with that opinion. Honourable Nomvalo.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's so unfortunate that this matter is coming in this fashion, because it tampers with the proceedings. We thought we were dealing with the interviews, with questioning witnesses, but it arises, and I'm not blaming the person who has raised the point, but I'm saying it's so unfortunate. And our understanding, Chair, was that this is an urgent matter which required to be resolved before we start this week's program. That is why we were making calls to you on Monday, inquiring about whether there will be a meeting or not, because I think this is a housekeeping issue that we must deal with when we are dealing with our housekeeping issues. But what precipitated and what exacerbates the problem is that we failed to convene a meeting on an urgent basis and deal with this matter. So my suggestion, Chair, is that we convene an urgent meeting just to clear all the outstanding issues, because they are going to temper and they will follow us for as long as we fail to resolve them on time. So I'm just making a plea to you, a kind plea, that as soon as possible, let's convene a meeting and deal with all the outstanding issues which have an impact on how we run our processes. Thank you.
Yeah. Look, honourable members, I don't hear any one of you saying that the legal opinion that Parliament presented is not what the chairperson is saying. Chief Whip.
No, Chair, we have the legal opinion with us that Parliament presented. And I think it's important to bring to your attention the distinction between the 2 matters that we have had to deal with. When you look at the matter relating to Skosana, Honourable Skosana and Honourable Shikaring, we are dealing with matters that are totally different from what we referred to when we're talking about Honorable Barnard in this way. We even, as a committee, I would imagine, were gravitating towards taking a decision, given the seriousness of the alleged involvement of Honorable Kolapana, that she may be one of our witnesses. We have never contemplated that with Skosana or Shikaring. And the reason why the DA decided to give an opinion on her alone, excluding Shikaring, was on its own a recognition of the fact that the two cases are totally not the same. And the way we interpreted the legal opinion provided to us was that it was not dealing with matters where you have a possibility of one of us becoming a witness. It was dealing with the principle, firstly, of our own authority as a committee to remove anyone in an event where we believe that they should not be part of our membership. But it did not deal with the issues relating to, can one of us who might be a witness tomorrow, likely, very likely to be a witness, given the seriousness of the allegations leveled against her, be also part of those who are questioning witnesses before us? If your understanding was that, Chair, and the understanding of the Parliamentary Legal Service was that, that would be a different understanding from what we have. And I think that is where I was saying, we don't disagree with how you are presenting the legal opinion, your understanding of it, but we are saying it did not address the issues relating to the nature of the allegations leveled against Honorable Kolapana. We can read it. I'm sure the legal team can read it here, and they tell us whether they were advising on the basis of similar circumstances or these are not exactly the same. Our views are they are not the same. But maybe, Chair, so that we don't appear to be stalling the process, we would want to suggest that even with that concern that we are raising, you proceed and allow Honorable Barnard to participate and advise us tomorrow through the legal division of Parliament what are the implications of that when we later decide that she must be a witness. Because we also don't want to appear as if we are personal to any of our colleagues. But we are very convinced that where matters of principle arise, we must be steadfastly loyal to them unless circumstances change that convince all of us. Thanks.
Note hands of members who want to speak on this matter. Okay, I'm seeing only one hand of Honorable Malim.
No, thanks, Chair. I'm happy that the Chief Whip says we must proceed, because if participation is going to be limited to when you open your mouth, then it's a redefinition of participation. Before the witness took an oath, Honorable Kolapana was already sitting this side of ours. That is participation. And the objection should have been raised at that time, that she cannot be here because she's going to be expected to be on the other side. That's number one. Number two, in the absence of any authority, in this case, a legal opinion that disqualifies her or qualifies her, we are where we were when she was participating in our meetings. So once you say there is no opinion that comes that speaks about her, and there's no opinion that speaks against her, we are back to where we were. We have no right to remove any member until that kind of opinion comes and advises differently, without going into agreeing with you that that opinion of the Parliament was actually the opinion as described by you. It's exactly what it says. And I don't see them coming up with any other thing except what they told us in that meeting. But for the sake of progress, I will say let's proceed with what the Chief Whip has said. Thanks.
Okay, honorable members, let's do this. The moment or the day the committee would have agreed that Honorable Kola Barnard should be a witness. Remember, we have not reached that decision. We said it's one matter that we will come and discuss. Once we reach the decision, or let me say, if we happen to reach that decision, that she must be a witness, then the legal team will then advise us. What do we do with our member who is now having to be on the witness stand? For now, we haven't taken any decision about her being a witness. And I think we are going to proceed that way. Honorable Skosana.
No, thank you, Chair. I guess for the issue of time as well, that we have members who are coming to support us here, sitting with us on this side. But because we don't have an issue of voting, for instance, if you have to vote, obviously, even if you are sitting this side, you can't vote because we've got rules in terms of that. Even if you are an alternate, only 11 members can vote. I think I'm correct on that. But for the sake of progress as well, because otherwise you're going to now start another process, like what happened to me when when General Sbia wanted to consult his legal team. I don't think now we have to consult, and I must accept that we've dropped the ball on that. We're supposed to have discussed this matter before we came in here. But for the sake of progress, we can really allow her to participate, and hopefully there won't be a backlash on that. Thank you, Chair.
Look, honorable members, this matter is not appearing before the committee for the first time. We have discussed it in many occasions. And I can tell you, even as we sit here now, we have run wild on how we think we can resolve it. And all of us agree that in the rules that we have, we don't have any authority. And that is why I will agree with those honorable members who say, let's wait to hear what the decision of the committee is. Once her name as a possible witness has been considered. And then we will seek a legal opinion on that matter. For now, as it stands, there is nothing that empowers us or stops her from participating in the committee proceedings. Honorable Shonga.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I don't know whether, Chair, I hear you correctly. But, Chair, I think illegal advice we were once given by the legal department. And we never acted on that. And the room check was of the mind of Uti. We mostly agree that she must do the right thing. But where I differ with you, Chair, you are now changing the statement when you say we must wait for the committee to decide on people who must be witnesses. This was never about being a witness. This was more about implication. That's why it was clarified between the matter of Honorable Skosana and Honorable Kola Barnard. So I think, Chair, let's not change the subject. But due to time, Chair, I think you as the chairperson, I always say this to you, it cannot be that the only decision you take as a chairperson is only about time for all alternates. You should take this decision for us and help us, Uguti. You must make this decision. And constantly, Chair, you are delaying this matter. Because we should have had meetings already about this matter. We are going forward. Yes, we are busy. We've got a lot to deal with. But, Chair, I think it falls on your shoulders, Chair. It falls on the credibility of your leadership in this committee. So I think, Chair, decision can be made, but you are also delaying the matter. And you know what's the right thing to do. DA does know the right thing to do, but you cannot depend on them because when it suits them, it's correct. When it doesn't suit them, it's incorrect. So I think, Chair, make a decision for us and take this matter as fast as you can. If we have to continue like this, let's then continue like this. But if it's a matter of us taking a decision, it has to be taken very, very urgently, Chair. Thank you.
I do not agree with that assertion, unless if there is anyone amongst you who wants to tell me what the decision of the committee is on this matter. And I have reiterated this, that the chairperson of this ad hoc committee is not the committee. This committee is made up of members. When the chairperson speaks, the chairperson must speak the decision of the committee. Is there anyone amongst you who wants to remind me how the committee has decided so that I can stand up here and say the decision of the committee is this one, Honorable Kola Barnard stay or Honorable Kola Barnard go out? What is the committee decision?
No, Chair, if I may, Chair, just to correct you that I don't get to be taken wrong on that matter. I'm not saying, Chair, the committee made a decision. You said we'll come and decide on this matter. But the feel of the House was mostly taking her out. So I'm saying, Chair, you have been delaying this matter. We should have dealt with this matter a long time ago. There was a Monday that we were supposed to have a meeting. I don't know whether it was cancelled or what. It never happened.
Of order, Chair.
So I think, Chair...
Please, Chair. Chair, we go around and around talking about the same thing, and then we have MKP, everybody,
Ma,
all
is
of
that a
them are
point of
saying
order?
the same thing.
No,
It is
no,
a point of order.
Honorable-
We're not having order in the House.
Honorable
And Chair,
Matthys.
we've already
But is
agreed
that a
that we're
point of order,
proceeding,
Chair?
and now we're talking about administration issues
Honorable
here.
Matthys,
Please, Chair, protect us.
Just hold your horses. This is
I'm done,
this
Chair.
is
Thank
how
you.
we're going to deal with issues. Honorable members, each and every member of this committee has a right to speak. But when you have spoken in the committee, it does not mean that what you say goes. All of us are bound by the decisions that the committee would have taken. So the committee has not been represented here. There is no decision that the committee has taken on that matter, and that is why I say I stand to be reminded by any one of you who knows any decision that the committee has arrived at on that matter. So that when I stand up here, I don't speak my personal things. I speak the decisions of the committee. Are you done, Honorable Shongwe?
I can continue, Chair, because my Honourable Matthys says I should continue, Chair. So I'll take it from there, Chair. So, Chair, I was saying I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Malim.
Chair, everybody agrees we must proceed, including the person who sponsored this issue. He said we must proceed. We have a candidate, not a candidate, we were a witness before us.
Yeah.
And we can't be doing this when everybody says, yes, we've got concerns, but let's proceed.
Yeah.
Can we please proceed? We are asking for that. Everybody agrees on that.
Yeah, no. What I wanted to hear is whether you have a decision as a committee. Okay. Okay. So the statements that have been made against the chair here do not belong here. Yeah. Can we endorse? Let me apologize for this moment that we had, and we now have to proceed. Honorable Kola Barnard.
Thank you very much, Chair. To the former minister, you and I go way back, way back. Would you agree that we have had some of the most bizarre national police commissioners? If one looks at Celebi, the president of Interpol, and he ends up in jail. I think the reputational damage that did to the SAPS was inordinate. I don't know that we've ever recovered our reputation internationally. But How you did it, I don't know. I've never yet worked it out. But you pulled a rabbit out the hat and convinced them to hold the FIFA World Cup here against all the odds and against what Celebi had done to the country. And it was an extraordinary achievement. I mean, I was there, you were there, you know, for once we could walk the streets and not feel as though we were going to be attacked. But then I know Lieutenant General Mkonazi was bounced in as a relative junior over the heads of many more senior and experienced members, and it was quite a surprise to everybody. But he wasn't left there very long before, heaven help us, it was handed over to Ria Pierre. And I agree with you. I think she did more damage to the SAPs than anyone before or since. It was catastrophic what happened from the moment she was seen wearing all the medals she hadn't earned, a whole barrage of medals, to the Marikana massacre. It just was catastrophic from day one. And then finally they started choosing, and I mean, you amongst that lot were the only one who had actually had any security experience at all. We were talking social workers and teachers prior to that. But they then decided, let's go with police officers. We got Sitole Masimola, who were both qualified to do the job. So I've often tried to work out what was driving the politicians at the top to put people in who were not qualified to do the job. What's your opinion on that?
Well, maybe starting from the beginning, is in English, they say another man's meat is another man's poison. Mm. So if Jake is your poison, he's a meat for me. I don't share the opinion that Jake was the most disastrous. I don't share. Whatever happened to him trapped him. Guys like your Sullivan, like your Aglioti and all those, they know better what happened. I don't say he was innocent, but we know that people that really did the damage and the stuff like Aglioti, the system let them go, and they found their sacrificial land, they found their scapegoat. And I agree, he could have got involved with them. That is the tail end of things that happened to him. But it did a lot of job pulling together all pieces of the so-called policing of Venda. I don't know why I like this Venda. Of Venda, Ciskei, Transkei, KwaZulu, and all that. It pulled to produce something called South African Police Service, which is a day. By the way, somebody did ask, what is my recommendation? I was reminded yesterday that, Honorable Chair, during our era, that day was celebrated of 27th January. I would urge that that day comes. The police would come to the stadium, dance, drink, and everything. And Ms. Kola Panat was one person who dismissed that day. So we can talk about it, because I find it bizarre that all police officers are working on December. All of them are working. So you can't give a little bit of a holiday when you have come back looking after and all that. We can argue on that one. But it's not true again that all professional police make good commissioners. It's not. It's not. One person that was highly professional, he acted for some time, Patlane. He acted for some time. What happened? He's a professional police. The Stole is a police produced by Honorable Skosana, and he's one to stand there. He did not finish the term. So it doesn't follow why politicians want these people that can the job. They do bring the people that they believe they can do the job, and those people they still do. I think somehow we still have to retreat and find out the way how people can finish, be supported, be helped, because what worse it does, it hurts the organization and it breaks down the organization as we see now, because nobody stays there to understand and take the organization through. But there is an issue, Honorable Member, about national commissioners rather than the national commissioners that were never police. Even those that were police, there are serious problems about it.
You're absolutely right. I'd quite forgotten about Paklane, who I think is heading towards jail. He's been arrested, he and his crew, for looting at the crime lab. So you're right, absolutely right. I've just often wondered, when people have been put in who are particularly weak, whether it was deliberate or not, in order to allow certain things to slide within the system. Certainly under Ria Piecha, that seemed to be the case. So I think, I know you've touched on it today, but were you surprised? I thought you and Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi had a good relationship. Were you surprised when this allegation that he's now withdrawn sort of came out the left field at you?
Surprised when it was made, or surprised
When it was made.
Surprised?
When it was made.
I was surprised. I was surprised because I knew that the thing doesn't come close to anything that has happened. For instance, as I've said, that one bottom line on this one is that I've never sent anybody, and you see something that you are so sure of it, and himself could have checked back. If he says I've sent the message to somebody, he could have checked back. But this person have never sent message from me since we knew each other in 2009. We have not. How would on a short space of time begin to do those things and all that? But this is a point I take, that human beings are fallible.
Sure.
And I'll live with that. That sometimes human beings are fallible, Honorable Member, and I'll accept that.
Yeah, you've held both positions, and I think you're probably the only person who has been both the National Police Commissioner and the Minister. I know I was hard on you and on Ria Piecha and Paklane, all of them, but as a Minister then, were you surprised, and have you been surprised at some of the ministerial appointments that have been made, with Nathi Mthethwa, and we're talking somehow Richard Mluli being brought back by him time and again, and Marikana and Nkandla Gate, Nathi Nhleko with his fire pool nonsense. He didn't last very long. Fikile Mbalula only lasted 1 year. So where would you rate yourself in amongst that lot as your job as a minister that you achieved?
That's the most difficult question. If I were a soccer player and I'm a striker, I would rate myself by scoring the goals. It would be easy. The first minister was Professor Mufumadi. The second one was Chwete. Third one was Ngagula. The fourth one was Mthethwa. And then after Mthethwa was Nhleko, was Mbalula, was who is not there? Then was Cele. Not Cele. Chairperson, I don't know if I can really answer this question. I've read myself as a minister. I think the most time I enjoy here was when I was a national commissioner. Whoever I send there, if you get an opportunity and president say choose between being a commissioner or choose to be a commissioner, that is a roller coaster kind of the work, and you can easily measure crime stats, the response of the human beings and all that. I will request to jump, Chair, on rating myself and allow South Africans and the rest of the people to judge me on that.
I'm sure they will. You have agreed that today the SAPS, there's a lot of factions fighting crime intelligence, all of them are in a catastrophic situation, compared perhaps to how it was when you were the National Police Commissioner. In your opinion, what could be done to pull it all together, to show our citizens that they need not fear the police, but that criminals must fear the police? Because today, currently, our citizens fear the police and the criminals laugh at them. How would you tackle that? How would you turn the tables and turn this back into a police service that we could actually be proud of?
Jabez, only remember you used the term catastrophic. I think in Zulu, in Tlegelele, it's something very, very serious. Not only that, and sad, I don't know how much pain I share as I sit there and I look Commissioner writing affidavit against the Deputy National Commissioner and all that, Kwanas coming on the platform, lambasting everybody. Immediately after that, Spear coming, Spear going home, the police are in his house. It's just, I don't think if it were a move, I would finish it. It's a terrible thing. And I would be lying if I sit here and I say what should be done to fix the situation. I know it's a disastrous situation. It needs to be fixed together and all that. You know, I watched a few days ago the discussion on how much South Africans have been scammed by the scammers, very professional scammers out there. But you say, okay, where do you go with the South Africans? There is no head of Hawks, there is no head of intelligence, there is no deputy National Commission of Detectives, and these are the things that these people who are scammed is a place that they should be running to. It doesn't exist. I hope and I wish that the president literally leads his government and the cabinet on finding the solution quick on this matter. Is a matter for government now. I hear that Judge Meyer was talking about requesting Judge Letwaba to go and stay home because of 2.5 million accusation of bribe from Mlife. This is a judge now. I'm not talking about magistrate or prosecutor. Your chief of prosecution in Gauteng is home, is to be investigated. So I think somebody somewhere must find a solution, and the solution must be quick. Otherwise, South Africans are going to run helter-skelter.
I agree. Last question from me. Let's talk about Cato Manor for a moment. You know them all very well. The still surviving members, because some have died, of the Cato Manor crew. Well, we heard in the Zondo Commission that there was a meeting between the then minister and the then acting National Police Commissioner, and they took the decision to make the arrest as public and humiliating as they could, because they believed the Sunday Times story. Of course, history has shown that those people who lost their salaries, their jobs, their lives, and were branded with the M for murderers on their foreheads, basically, were all innocent. They were cleared by the courts. And I was saddened when the Lieutenant General told us he didn't really recall much about it, because it was his decision to go ahead and join in that political decision to close the unit and arrest everyone. And in fact, the courts have just started paying them out because they're all suing the SAPs for many, many millions. I believe you might have handled it differently had you been in charge. Your thoughts, please.
Jefferson, I said yesterday, Lieutenant General Connors is a good cop, but he has faults, and I said some of his faults are serious. That is one of the serious faults that he committed. I don't care who says what. I'll go anywhere. That's my belief and what I see. I see, that's the way I see that what happens. But one thing that is not said, when Jerome Connors was here, he raised the issue of him having problem with former Minister Mthethwa, may his soul rest in peace, and President Zuma. He did not tell that initially there were parties with Minister Mthethwa. They caused this disaster together.
Yeah.
They caused the disaster. So there was a time when they were together and they caused the disaster. I don't know when they realized that one is wrong. This Katomena thing was a part of the Hawks. And the structures that deal with the misbehavior of the police and all that they could do. But weighing, putting on the scale, their successes and what they did for the people of South Africa was huge.
Yeah.
Chairperson, there was zero cash heist in KZN under that team. Zero. Taxi industry took the line. Criminals, there was a situation that there was a saying that if you want to commit crime, get away out of that province and do it somewhere. There was a saying said, if Katomena wants you, wake up in the morning and go and knock the police station and say I'm here. So how people they look at it and all that, we can't debate that. But fighting crime, that's why even today, or even until I leave the organization, there have been a call to say, can they come back? I say they're dead. Some of them are destitute. Some of them, well, are surviving. And I hate this thing. I hate this thing of people claiming the police for things that police must pay the money because they've done wrong to them. But I wouldn't mind if I know that South African Police Service must pay more than 100 million for all of them for the thing that for unlawful arrest and the harassment that happened to them when they send the trucks and literally take them like you are evicting a criminal. Taking them and cramping them somewhere, putting all the... And that was under General Connors and Minister Mthethwa. And Minister Mthethwa went to a prosecutor asking that prosecutor to arrest them in June, was accompanied by the General Connors to tell you, please make sure that they get arrested. And they got arrested. And today we are facing the unlawful arrest. When I said so, when you talk about Katomena, is one mistake that has happened in the history of police coming forward. And such a huge negative impact in crime fighting. With that team, for a very long life, they would be there. I was even prepared to be castigated by my organization because I attended their trials. I was castigated of supporting the rebels and all that. But I knew that those were good human beings doing the work to protect South Africans.
Thank you very much. Chair, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kolabana. Thank you so much, General Cele. Honorable Skosana, you will be starting when we come back from break at 1:30. You'll be sitting there at 1:30. Thank you so much. No, we're taking a break immediately. We're back at 1:30. Yeah.
Chair, you saw my hand. But you
Yes,
don't-
you can speak, but we're on break.
but you saw me before you declared break.
Yeah.
But it's okay, Chair. Chair, I just want to say, I wasn't here. I have no problem with the decision of the House on the participation of Honorable Barnard. But I just want to state for the record that I did share with you my opinion on the opinion.
With the legal team.
But I send it to you, so you have it on
Yeah.
record. Please just
The legal team will consider it and will give the committee a feedback.
I just wanted to state that for the record. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Honorable members, as the break has been announced, we are coming back at 1:30. Yes. Skosana, 6 minutes of your time has run already. Welcome. No, it's fine. Welcome, honorable members. Just to put it on record, honorable souls, the legal team has received your submission, and then it will be presented in the committee meeting. Honorable Skosana, welcome and those. Thank you so much. Yeah, but the legal team led evidence. It's your time to ask questions. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
It will be until 14:38, Honorable Skosan.
Thank you very, very much. No, I'm going to leave it for Shongwe to finish up. Good afternoon, General.
Good afternoon, honorable member.
Ngizokuthoma ngesikhethu in my first 20 minutes. In fact, ngesikhuwa, then ngizagcina ngesikhethu. Now, the issue about, you spoke highly about Bheki Cele, that he amalgamated the former TBV state and the other police service, self-independent, you know, and SAP during those years. I just want to say, let me put it to you, that your assertion is wrong, is incorrect. One, the amalgamation of the police service was started by Johan van der Merwe in 1994. His contract ended in 1995. In 1995, President Mandela appointed George Fivers. Fortunately, I was among the staff of the safety and security in Mpumalanga. I was seconded from the Department of Finance, and we were a supporting staff when these agencies were amalgamated. So George Fivers was the first person to be appointed to lead an amalgamated police service in this country. It's not Bheki Cele. Do you agree with me on that?
Well, I don't agree with you on that. Fivers started, but in the middle of it and finishing it, it was Bheki Cele. But Fivers did start.
No. Minister, I said Johan van der Merwe in 1994 started the process. There was Zwane from Gangwane, there was Brigadier Tubane from Gondebele, there was Selsfontein, who was the... Yeah, but I just wanted to put the matter straight, that George Fivers is the one who led the police, which was amalgamated in this country.
It did not finish. A person that took it from the middle body and finished it was Bheki Cele. And I agree with you that Fivers was at the beginning of the matter.
Yeah, what I'm saying, Fivers was the first to lead the amalgamated force in this country.
Yes, but did not finalize the thing. The bigger portion then was done by Bheki Cele when Fivers indeed did start the matter.
So are you disputing that Fivers was leading an amalgamated police force in the country?
When he was a national commissioner, he led.
Yes.
And then Bheki was a national commissioner, he led.
No. What? Angithi so, Minister. George Fivers, waba umuntu wokuthoma our leader one police service in this country. We are former.
When was the police service finalized in this country?
No, but ubuzumbuzo munyo phezu komunye.
No, izokusiza.
No, mina.
George Fivers did not lead one police service in this country.
Okay, let's put it on record. As a matter of fact, I'm saying that George Fivers was the first person to lead an amalgamated police service in this country, and you say I'm wrong.
I agree that you are wrong.
Okay, thank you. Remember, we are under oath. And number two, you speak highly or you speak bad about some of your colleagues you worked with.
Did you say I speak bad?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm saying, generally, in this sense, you said that Ria Piecha was a disaster. He messed up the police service. Am I right?
I stand by that statement.
And you said that, may his soul rest in peace. Natim Tetwa as well.
I did not say
No.
May his soul rest in peace.
No. I'm talking about Nati. I've passed the issue of Ria Piecha.
Okay.
I'm talking about the minister now as well. That whatever he was doing, you have the doubt that he has carried his constitutional duty as he was supposed to. Am I right?
You are wrong.
Then you can correct me.
I never spoke about Natim Tetwa in the Constitution.
No. I'm not talking about, what I'm saying that he failed to do, let me put it straight. You said he failed to do his job.
I never said so.
What did you say?
I never said he failed to do his job. I said he had mistakes, and I've mentioned things that he would have done wrong. One of those things is the Katomena. And the only thing that I talk about him is Katomena. I never spoke about
it's
anything.
fine.
So we are not very correct.
So your misfortune as well, or your mistakes. Do you have any mistake which you perhaps, when you were still a national commissioner, or when you're still a national, when you are a minister and a national commissioner, do you have regrets?
No.
No regrets?
No.
Were you perfect?
No.
Let me come to this as well. Did you ever appointed someone in the, I think they said Sita, said he was carrying bags, I've forgotten the surname, what's the surname, if you remember? There was a matter which was raised to say there was somebody who was carrying your bags.
Simon, come on, advocate, come on.
Yes. Did you ever appointed him
as well
as a judicial commissioner?
I've explained it time and again. And you said you were in that environment, you would know, especially that there is no minister that appoints any level of police in the South African police.
Are you saying that under oath?
Don't threaten me about
No, I'm not threatening you. I just want to find out, because we have done that, Minister.
When I'm asking that under oath?
Yes, I'm asking that under oath, yes. Remember, I'm a member of Parliament.
I've been in Parliament far long before than you. I know better Parliament than you.
But if you say I'm under oath, it means you don't accept that I am under oath and I'm protected.
Simo was appointed by the Minister of Police as a special advisor to the minister, but was appointed by the National Commissioner as a legal person heading legal in the South African Police.
Minister, let me put this thing to you once again. My question is simple. Have you ever appointed a divisional commissioner, you as a minister?
I've answered that no.
You've never done that?
No.
And let me put it to you, and I guess the scribes are writing this down. You've done so.
That has never been done.
No, it's fine. Anyway, remember, we still have to, I'll bring proof of that, Minister,
Okay.
that you've done that.
Bring it.
Now,
And if you don't bring it,
no, I'll bring it. I'll bring it. Anyway, I'm protected. Don't you said you've got 40 years or so
Yeah,
here.
Chair.
But I'm not threatening you, but I'm telling you that you have appointed a divisional commissioner yourself, not a national commissioner, as a minister. You said a minister doesn't do that, but we have done that. But let's start now again. Let me put it to you again, Minister.
can I respond before you put?
You can.
Honorable Member, I hope the problem here is that people, they say things, and when they're supposed to prove it, and they don't happen, they don't come back to say those things here. I would want that protection. If you say I've done it, you're going to bring the evidence. I would want to know what happens if that evidence does not come. We're not going to hide behind the situation that says we are protected. So we're not going to be paid. We're not going to be paid.
It's a law, and unfortunately, I'm protected. You can't do anything about it.
Am I allowed to answer when I'm asked?
Yes.
Am I allowed to answer when I'm asked?
Let's do like this, honorable members. The people of South Africa are watching us, and they want to see the best out of us. I just want to request both of you to tone down. And what we must do, Honorable Skhosana, let's ask the witness questions and the witness response. Not because we want to dismiss the question that the witness has given. Because if a witness responds and say, I have not done this, and then you come back and say, but you have done it, you are now opening the matter for debate. Let's ask questions and not force the witness to give questions that we want them to give us as a belief.
I thank you, Chair, and as well, let me be protected. When I ask a question, the witness should not as well question me. Because I ask a question, then he questions me again. I need your protection as well. Thank you, Chair.
Agreed. General, when the honorable member asks you a question, may you please respond to the question. Both of you are protected by the chairperson equally.
Nice to hear that.
General, do you remember that you came to Mpumalanga in Mkondo? Do you remember that?
Many times.
In 2018.
Many times.
You promised the people there was political killings. You remember?
I promised them political killing.
No. I'm saying there was political killings.
Oh, I thought you said I promised them political
No.
Okay.
I'm saying I was still, as I said, if you can wait for me, General. You came to Mpumalanga, Mkondo, and you promised the people of Mpumalanga that those who have killed those councillors will be arrested in 4 days. Do you remember that?
I don't remember 4 days. I remember saying they'll be arrested.
Was anyone arrested there?
I don't know.
Do you know Alpha?
No. I know Omega.
Omega? That's how you promised that those people will be arrested within 4 days.
Okay.
And unfortunately for your, because you say you don't remember. the killings continued. 2 councillors after you've left were killed.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you have any relationship with then, at that time, with the mayor of that area in Mkondo?
Who was the mayor?
Vusmota.
No, I have no relationship with him.
You never spoken to him over the phone or have had a meeting with him?
I've spoken to him.
What was discussed in that meeting?
I can't remember.
There was 2 people which, the names which were disguised here from IDEC. I think it was Perumal, and I think you've mentioned another one, Sunet, if I remember the name, I might be wrong. What is your take with those guys? They ever intimidated you? Because we are told that they are harassing, in particular, ministers and lieutenant generals as well from IDEC.
I spoke with one name, not 2.
I'm sorry?
I spoke about one name, not 2.
Whose name was that?
I said either Peruman or Patayache.
Padiache, yes. Yeah, okay. Is it one person? Perumal Padiache?
That's why I'm saying Patayache or Peruman. I can't remember, but one of those names is his name.
In your understanding, what was the role of ID and the investigation matters in terms of jurisdiction?
ID or IDEC?
No, ID at that time, before they were IDEC.
What was their duty was to investigate the crimes, especially the COVID-19 crimes.
And state capture?
No, I know nothing about IT and state capture.
Because these names are frequently coming up, in connection with General Masemula and Mkwanazi. And Mkwanazi, when he presented his submission here, he said, at IDEC, there's a rogue policemen there and women, but there are those good policemen there and women. Do you agree with him on that? In your experience as you were in charge of it?
I agree with him, Mkwanazi.
Yes. No, what I'm saying, do you agree with his assertion to say there's rogue? In fact, there are those people there who work at IDEC who are rogue. Let me put it like that.
But I will agree, but not only there. Even with the SEPs and other organizations, there will be rogue and good people.
Yeah, but I'm talking about IDEC now, Minister.
But I'm giving you the context of which I'm agreeing that indeed I agree with it, but I'm adding to say is a generic problem.
So are you saying even in the top echelons of the South African police, there's rogue policemen and women?
I would agree.
We have found that the real reason why the illegal disbandment of the PKTT, it was to protect the funders. The way you said, you've spoken to Vus Matala, or Ket Matala. Real name Ket Matala. For the first time you said you met him in Beverly Hills, am I right?
Beverly Hills Hotel?
Yes. That was for the first time?
Yes.
That was in December, am I right?
Yes.
Then in January, you went to Pretoria.
Yes.
And then he gave you his penthouse.
Yes.
He gave you security.
No.
You're not secured.
As even now, I don't have security.
Yeah, I remember you cried some time ago to say you are not safe, and we understand that.
Without tears.
Now, you met him for the first time. He's offering you a room. You agree without any hesitation because you are no longer a minister. That's what you said, am I right? You are free to do anything you want.
No, I'm not free to do anything I want. There is no human being allowed to do anything that he or she wants.
Yeah, I thought when you say we are free, we are no longer accountable to anyone. I thought you said so.
On that particular matter, Honorable Member, not generically that as a human being you can do whatever I want.
Yeah, because my follow-up question will be, if I heard you well, is that you can associate with criminals. There's no problem because we are free.
Associate, maybe I don't understand the word associate. I can't associate with criminals, but I still can get the information and be briefed and hear and be phoned by those people that give information, even if they're in the criminal world.
So your relationship with Vus, in a way, for him to for you to meet him, what was the purpose?
The meeting was arranged by Mabonga.
Yes. What was for?
Mabonga didn't tell me that I'll be meeting Vusi. I saw Vusi as I came with Mabonga. So I was meeting Mabonga and he came with Vusi.
So he only disclosed when Kate was there.
When I saw him, correct.
And you were comfortable to help him.
I didn't even know him.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, were you comfortable after he told you what was the meeting all about? I mean, Kate.
And I got interested. I was comfortable interested because he spoke about my name, that my name, if somebody has spoken about it somewhere.
Do you agree with Minister Senzo Mkunu's version to say he had all the right to disband MKTG?
No, I don't agree with that.
Now, the IMC resolution and the meetings of approving the PKTT, as you said, it was an inter-ministerial committee, am I right?
I didn't say so. It was so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That I want you to agree with me on that, to say I'm not missing the point.
Okay.
Now, when he decided, as you know now, is on record, Senzo,
Okay.
Mkunu, the minister, did not consult anybody. And I think that's what you said to us, to say there was ministries. There was a minister of correctional service, there was a minister of justice, etc., etc. And those were not consulted at all.
I think his statement says so, again, that he did not consult.
Now, so we agree that the minister was completely wrong.
To do what?
To do what he did, to disband.
Disband.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, there's, you call him Mary, if I remember, Professor
Mary.
Dihas. He says that...
She
says that you are a disgraced minister. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm just reading what he wrote here.
I don't agree with it.
You don't agree with that? And you said you don't recognize Patricia Machale, if I remember well.
I don't recognize or remember her.
No, you remember her. What I'm saying that whatever Patricia is saying, it doesn't hold water according to you, am I right?
Correct.
There's another gentleman who said he wrote you many letters. He calls Fikile Mbambi. Have you ever received any letter from him?
Who is that gentleman?
Fikile Mbambi from Cape Town, from Kayelisha.
Fikile Mbambi.
Yes.
I don't remember the name.
You don't remember the name. Now, when you were talking to my colleague here, you said that there's around almost 200 members who are deployed here in Cape Town. Am I right? At the cost of 800 rand, I think, for accommodation, there's food, there's cars, you've mentioned all those things combined to say that, they are trying to help the people of Cape Town. You've mentioned Delphi, you've mentioned Philippi and other areas. Because in this country, Minister, the issue of drugs is a problem.
Issue of
drugs.
Yes, yes.
And in particular, in the Western Cape. Am I right? I'm not saying in other provinces there's no drugs. But in particular, in the Western Cape, we have a serious problem of drugs. And Gauteng, we have a similar problem.
Yes.
We have a similar problem in the Eastern Cape, in almost all the provinces.
Now I agree.
Thank you. Ngiye ngathi ngizotshintsha ngibuyele ngapha. Abantwana bethu sebangathi amazumbi ngendaba yama drugs.
Ngathi amaZulu.
Ngathi amazumbi.
Oh.
Umuntu uthi ahamba alele. Uthi umuntu ahleli amile. Sinenkinga enkulu engicabanga ukuthi nawe usese khona usaphethe. Azange uyikhona lento yama drugs. Am I right?
If you say angizange ngiyikhona, you mean to eradicate and finish it?
Yes.
Definitely it was not eradicated, but a lot of work and a lot of disbandment of the laboratories, a lot of big bust of the ships and all that, it did happen.
Now, ngiyavuma ukuthi akunamuntu onganaphutha, Minister. And I think as well, as you said, baye bathi uma uvuma kuba ngcono kunokuthi uwale amaphutha owenzayo. Siyavumelana lapha ngithi.
Well, it's a human nature to commit mistakes, but it's also a good human nature to accept once you realize that you have made a mistake. It's a good thing to do.
Ngiyacabanga ukuthi njengoba ushilo nawe uma usithumela le submission i-statement sakho esila ezinjoba ngeke ngasho ekuqaleni ukuthi mangikulalele kahle ubugceka kakhulu abantu abavele abasebenze after you or abasebenze before you njengoba ngeke ngababala iphutha lakho ke endosi engilibonileyo mina mangiloko ngikulalele ukuthi akekho umuntu owenze ngcono ukudlula wena ngabe mhlambe ngibambe kahle
Ngikushongo lokho. Uthi kushiwo yimina ukuthi ngenze ngcono ukudlula wonke umuntu.
No, ngisho ukuthi the way usipresente ngakhona it's like wonke umuntu oke waba uminister in particular njengoba ngeke ngakhuluma ngendaba beside indaba yaseKhatomana ukuthi unathi may his soul rest in peace no senzo mchunu kunamaphutha amaningi abawenzile unathi ukhulume ngeyi1 uthize iKhatomana. Am I right?
Can I remind you how many ministers I have counted?
Yes, 7.
So I've presented myself. I did not present on behalf of Minister Umthetwa or Minister Umkhulu. They can present themselves and then you can make your assessment on that.
Njengoba ke uke wezwa alana uminister osuspendiwe kuye kwezwakala ukuthi wacela uchief of staff wakhe ukuthi arekhode inkulumo yakhe ayikhuluma no provincial commissioner uMkhwanazi. Leso senzo ungasibona kuyisenzo esi right ngokwazi kwakho umthetho.
Well ngokwazi kwami ukuthi umuntu uma ezokurekhoda, for instance, uma ufonele bank, ufonele insurance, ufonelaphi, uyawuwonishwe, utshelwe ukuthi uzorekhodwa. I think into wrong ukuthi ungakwenza lokho. Having not told anybody ukuthi uzokwenza, especially umuntu osuke uzokhuluma nawe ucingweni ukuthi ungamtsheli ukuthi uzomrecord. Ngicabanga ukuthi into wrong.
Ukhona siseselapho ngicabanga ukuthi nawe waye waba concern ukuthi
To commit a crime, I will wait for the lawyers to tell. I don't want to venture at the area where I'm completely incompetent when it comes to law.
Ngiyabonga. Ngibuye ke ngize la izolo ngicabanga ukuthi before sizoceda. Kuye kwaba ne-issue ke wayiraise lana yokuthi kude issue ke wayiveza la. Engicabanga ukuthi ke kwenzeke kahle ukuthi uye wayiphika indaba yokuthi kude mhlambe into oyitholile ubunqane obutholile kodwa uGeneral Mkhwanazi uye wayi-withdraw leyo nto. Ngicabanga ukuthi sikhulumile ngayo. Angikhola ukuthi mhlambe uphatheke kabi minister kuleyo ngoba use-withdrawile uGeneral Mkhwanazi.
Uyangibuza ukuthi ngiphatheke kabi noma ngiphatheke kahle?
Yes.
Hayi ngiphathekile nje.
Uphathekile njani ngiyabonga. Now ngiyacabanga ukuthi kuye kwaba nenkinga lapha uke wathi benibo minister ne4 if I remember well. Wafa abantu abaningi bakithi lapha ePhoenix. Ngabe kukhona ongasitshela kona ukuthi kuyakwanelisa imphumela omhlambe ama arrest enzekile after what happened lapha ePhoenix?
Noma ngazi manje honorable member ukuthi hamba kanjani amacala kodwa baningi abantu ababoshwa. There was a special team under Brigadier Cele that was working there, and the last time I checked, there were about 12 people that were arrested there. But I don't know the status of the cases at the present moment. Bayakuhlupha.
Bangihluphi. Ngoba isizwe asijabulanga ngento le eyenzeke lapha ePhoenix and babona ngathi umthetho awukho ngathi le ndaba ayikhulunyiswa akunamuntu okhuluma ngayo yaphela nje kanjalo kibo bonke abantu abake bafika la ngifaka nawe ngaphakathi ngizwile ukukhuluma iconcern yakho ngeCato Ridge kuphela but iissue yase Phoenix hence ngikubuza yona ukuthi iyagculisa ngendlela yahamba ngakhona na.
Angase ngikhulume nje ngeCato Ridge.
No, I'm talking Cato, not Cato Ridge. Le okhuluma ngayo.
Cato what?
Cato Mano.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Ukuthi kuyakhulunywa ngayo, kuyakhulunywa nangezinye kodwa le yase Phoenix ngathi akunamuntu ufuna ukuyibamba.
No, umbuzo honorable member ngeCato Phoenix. I said last time I checked, there were quite a number of people ababeboshiwe. So I don't know what is the status now. But there were people, some by then have been found guilty and doing some years. So it might not have been adequate, but there was a response in terms of the law dealing with the matters of Phoenix.
Honorable Nomvalo.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Apologies, Honorable Skosana, for interrupting you. It's a follow-up question, Chair, arising from a question which was asked by Honorable Skosana in relation to political matters which took place in Mpumalanga, which was followed by the general's visit, wherein he made commitments of making arrests. Now, the question, General, is, after visiting Mpumalanga and making commitments therein, were there any systems that you put in place thereafter to ensure that you meet the commitments that you made in Mpumalanga? And if there are any, what progress was there while you were still the minister? Because we can't expect you to know now, because we are not a minister, so we are no longer in charge of the organization. But at the time when we were there as a minister, what progress did you leave in relation to that issue? And did you ever go back to the people of Mpumalanga and say, these are the systems that I've put in place, and this is progress that we have made so far? Because the issue of political killings is a very serious issue. So I was really not satisfied, Chair, with a response that he gave that he doesn't know. And that I think it arose maybe from an impression that we are asking about his knowledge at this point. And the question was asking about his knowledge while he was still the Minister of Police. Thank you.
When I went there, I went with the provincial commissioner, honorable member. And the provincial commissioner was to put something special to deal with the matter. Well, Mpumalanga people will tell you that what has happened to the provincial commissioner himself is part of the problem that we are facing. It started there after that. So I don't know the progress, because a person that was supposed to lead that in terms of the provincial commissioner putting those teams had a problem herself, suspended. I think is under, I don't know where it is now, but by the time I left, she was suspended and not on job and all, which I guess then that jeopardized the progress of those operations that was supposed to continue.
Ngiyacabanga ukuthi angigculisekanga ke ngendlela ophendule ngayo, kodwa ke ngizochubeka ngoba lesithembiso wazenza njengesithembiso owasenza masikhuluma ngeissue yakaSenzo Meyiwa killing. Wathembisa ukuthi umuntu ozoboshwa kufe family yakhe. Umuntu ozoboshwa oyedwa ubekhona ngaphakathi endlini la kwabulawela khona uSenzo. But up to today, akunamuntu ophuma lapha endlini oboshiwe. Ngabe ngiright lapha?
Wrong.
Ukhona oseboshiwe?
Wrong ukuthi ngenza leso sithembiso.
No, wasenza leso sithembiso is on record. But again, if uyala is fine. But that's what I'm saying, ukuthi wathembisa ilizwe la ekhaya.
Wrong.
No, ngiyavuma. Ungasho ukuthi ngirong ukuright, kodwa ke mina ngithi
wrong right.
Yeah. Ngisho ukuthi ke minister angabi ngathi siyalwa silwe. Mina ngifuna ukubuza nje ukuthi uyayala nokuthi wathembisa ukuthi umuntu omunye okhona ngaphakathi uzoboshwa obeke khona uma kudutshulwa uSenzo. Zange utsho njalo.
Sengiphendulile lapho.
Okay, ngiyabonga. Uma ubheka njengoba kukhulunywe ngeissue yokuthi uMatlala might have been the one uMinister Umchunu obefuna afande i-presidential ambition yakhe or u-deputy or u-president in the next coming ANC conference. Ungabe wena leyo nto uyayikholwa noma uyikholwa? Ukuthi lempi ekhona engaka esiphoyiseni abanye bazokhuluma ngokuthi hence kwakhanselwa necontract yakaMatlala is because something went very wrong kule meeting efanele ibe khona phakathi kwakhe eyenzeka phakathi kwakhe noMhoshi oDawumazi uBrown Mkhotsi. Ngoba after that kwakhanselwa icontract yakaMatlala. Mhlambe ungabe ngokunye ngokucabanga kwakho ukuthi are this functional battle noma nje into eyenzeka ngoba fanele yenzeka?
I think Lama battle started before the cancellation.
Njoba sengizovala nginikeze umlingani wami. Ngizovala ngale yokuthi uma fika lana umkhwanazi ku statement sakhe asinikeze sona. Uthi ispolisa samoshakala ngo2007. Ngo2007 kwenzeka ukuthi kuqala kubizwana amaphoyisa abizana comrade. Kwaba namabray enziwayo ePulukwane. Azange kuphinde amaphoyisa ahlonipheke or ahloniphane. Kwaqala ama-faction ngaleso sikhathi. Ngabe uyavuma kuloko?
Angivumi.
Ukuthi akuqala ngaleso sikhathi. Ngabe kuqale nini ukuliwa esiphoyiseni i-top management? Ngokwakho ukwazi.
So lokho abakhona amaphoyisa.
Oh, lokho abakhona amaphoyisa. Nawe uma ukhona leyo impi yaqhubeka injalo.
Yebo.
So uthi iqale ngo1994. Not ngikhuluma nge-new dispensation, ngikhuluma ngalawa kudala abangasimelanga. Lento iqale 1994 ukulwa.
Ngiyavumelana nawe.
Ngiyabonga. Sengizonikeza ke umlingani wami aqedelele njengoba uchairman said avumile. Ngiyabonga.
Can we speak, Chair? You can pass to another person, Chair. As the MK party, we have exhausted all our questions. We don't want to speak for the sake of speaking.
I'm giving you a standing ovation today. Chief Whip.
Oh, no. Thanks, Chair. Thanks a lot, General. Good afternoon. I know that many questions have been asked and answered, so I shouldn't be that long. And I'm going to try and rephrase the question for you to address a specific issue. For instance, in your submitted Son affidavit, General, you speak about General Mdluli, the decision about his suspension, but you also talk about, on the same paragraph, that you were directed by the then Minister and Deputy Minister to fire General Shabalala. Now, what I want to understand here, what is it that is so special about Mdluli? Who is Mdluli? And where does the country come from with Mdluli? Because he emerges as somebody very central to whatever that has happened in our security cluster over the past a decade or two. Who is the man?
Well, I really don't have extra information than what I have. Mdluli became the head of the crime intelligence in June, when I became the head of South African police administratively in July. I am told that the way he was employed was a panel of ministers chaired by the Minister of Police. I think there was a Minister of Intelligence at the time, who happened to, I guess, was Dr. Cele. I think there were other ministers. There were about 4, I can't remember who they are. That makes him a little bit special, Mdluli, from the very word go, because I've never seen a TTG having such a panel of the ministers. But one thing that was quite significant, there was an acting police commissioner then, General Williams, or Commissioner Williams, and I'm told was not part of that panel. This is a DDG, but the DG of of that department is not part of that panel. That's quite interesting. Mdluli, his background, this is under correction, so that I don't lie under oath. And I fight with Mr. Skosana. So his history looks like it comes from the police anyway, but was belonging to this branch, that infamous branch called Special Branch. Looks like that's where it comes from. And those that they know him, they said he would be a not a very kind guy. Those that have been in the hands of Special Branch, they would understand how they would treat you, those guys. They were not nice at all. So it looks like he was part of those guys. But also looks like he was person that people were scared of him. Because the arrest looks like was suspected, because I don't think was ever found guilty, was suspected of murder, which had nothing to do with the work, which was a kind of a social matter, because it looks like a person that was murdered because he interfered with his girlfriend. So sounds like that. So he's a person that would you know him to be brutal both work and socially, but it's a person that I wouldn't know him too much because he spent his time reporting to the minister and the president rather than reporting to the national commissioner.
No, thank you, Chair. I'm asking this question because in your submission, you made an important observation that essentially the time at which the country started to regress in terms of its capability to defeat crime in our country was more or less around the same time, around that time, when such characters were being appointed, and let alone the way in which that character was appointed. But you also made references to the fact that as a consequence of your refusal to act or the way in which you acted towards him, you acquired some enemies. And I think the enemies that you acquired also included, if I read your statement very well, the head of state of that time. Now, you know, there is a theory that may not enjoy popularity in our country, but it's there. And because it exists, it's supposed to be dissected. That there's always been people either who were infiltrated in the movement that led us into liberation, or who were inherited by the democratic state after 1994, remain in the system, but always working hard day and night to bring the very system down. Do you think these are coincidences that here pops up Mdluli, gets appointed in a very funny way, and the situation changes right from that period? Of course, with the then National Commissioner Pierre assuming the reins, and the destruction of the security cluster happens unabated. Would you say these are just mere coincidences, or this is maybe one of the manifestations of an intervention that is done deliberately to weaken the democratic state at the security level?
Honorable Member, maybe one important thing to say about Mdluli. He was suspended for 8 years. He was under suspension for 8 years. And you remember that you hire nobody if a person is suspended. So he was earning his salary without any hindrance as suspended. Yet there was no head of the crime intelligence. So there is that gap until he was fired by Mbalula, as Mbalula comes, and I came after Mbalula, but was suspended and earning the salary for eight years. So it could be both him getting involved, but also there was this lacuna that was there because there was no head. But broadly, broadly from the world of security, honorable member. There are no structures that are not infiltrated by opposition. That's your take, that's bottom line. They even say, when you're operative intelligence, they give you a beautiful, good information. You must be worried because information is forever on the exchange. So you wonder, as they give him such a good information, how much good information he or she gives on the other side.
It's a game of trade-offs.
Yeah.
I give you this one, you give me the other one. Now, General, the issue, when we listen to Minister Mkunu, part of his consideration, and not only him, I think General Sbia as well, there's this issue about the amount of money that was spent on the PKTT. I know you said earlier on that's not a terrain that you would have been directly involved. And I remember Minister Mkunu saying that we may have to ask the AG or somebody else to conduct an audit. But where I want to get an understanding from you, was there ever any moment where a focused discussion during your tenure takes place with regard to the impact on the finances of SAPS of the work of the PKTT? Was there ever any, and if there was, including maybe possible abuse that may involve the S&T or the overtime? So was there any focused discussion on the matter? And if there was, any actions were taken maybe to mitigate the possibility of the system being exploited?
I think this one of abuse, there have been some specific examples that were made, Chairperson, that the operatives and the police were sleeping on posh hotels. They've mentioned one. I hear people saying that Beverly Hills is a top-notch. There is a top-notch hotel next to Beverly called Oyster Box. That is a really top-notch. That's a really top-notch something. So there is an accusation. There is an accusation that we're sleeping there. I don't have that information that there are police that slept there at the Oyster Box. I don't know where they were sleeping. What I know is that they would have found the accommodation from the hotels or those places that they would have slept to. But I am under correction. For me, there would be no reason for the police to be sent to sleep at the Oyster Box, which I think Mamumeri speaks on it, that they were sleeping there at Oyster Box. But if they were sleeping in the hotels, let's say minus Oyster Box, is not something that will be awkward and be based only in KZN, Honorable Member. There is a hotel here, as you drive, near, is it a Mountain View? Is Tape View? There's a place called Tape View here in Cape Town. There is a hotel that is on the water, there's on the sea. The South African Police of Operation Thunder were living there. As you sleep, the waves are almost on your room in that hotel. So then it could not be the problem then of PKTT. So it could be the generic problem that we'll have to work on. So for me, my argument would not then, if that is your consideration, you would have dealt with one unit and let others sleep on the sea.
Now, General, you made some observations about. Sorry, Chair.
Honorable Malim.
I just want to ask General to remind us, Richard Mdluli, when he was arrested, was he not with another police officer called Kimba or Killer?
Yes.
What was Killer's role in the police at that time?
What was his?
Yeah, what was his role? Was he also in the crime intelligence?
The crime intelligence. He's still there. He's still in the police.
Has he not gone to Kurulane to work in the Kurulane there from Zwandile?
Why umbuza into oyaziyo? So I think it did go to Ugrulane, but I think it did come back to the CI. Yes, it did work for Ugrulane.
You may proceed, Chief.
Yeah. No, thanks, Chair. I mean, General, I just want to ask if you have any suggestions that you would like to leave with us, because you raise a concern about, and you identified it as a major problem confronting the police, the issue of, for a lack of a better word, I think you refer to easy bail, people getting bail easily. Never mind that they've committed crime for which the police are convinced conviction can be secured. I don't remember whether you have made any proposals about what exactly should be done, if any, if you have thought about it.
Actually, I would love to add on this thing of bail. There is another animal called parole. That's another big animal. Where people, I'm told, they are released on the good behavior in prison. And I don't know why you would have a good, how you have a good behavior in prison, because you're in prison. So you behave so because you're in prison. So we can get the numbers, but the numbers are quite bad of the repeat offenders of the parolees. So both parolees and the bail, they need to be looked very, very close, Honorable Chair. There is an argument that there are not too many criminals that are running amok among South Africans. But the problem of the courts and correctional service is the resupply of the criminals, that they come back. At some times, by the way, we are victims of our success, especially the police who are victims of our success. When I was there, Honorable Member, there were 3 bouts of parole under Minister Lamula. At one time, there were 14,000. At other time, there were 9,000 parolees at a go. The last one included Umsholozi, the parole, quoting that parole of 9,000. So it's an issue that when you follow them, you find them, some of them going back, having done the worst things and the original things that they've done, but also most they are found for the revenge. That they go back to those people that were witnesses and set them in prison and come back to them. I'm not saying that people, they must die in prison, but if there is a way of checking and thoroughly checking on the parole, they should be so. But when it comes to bail, I think the laws are there. There is this Schedule 6. If I'm not mistaken, the lawyers will help you. I'm told that the Schedule 6, you don't get the bail, especially if you're second Schedule 6 and all that kind of thing. So there are the laws that are there. But one thing that keeps cropping up with the bail is corruption. I don't know if the members are aware of the fire that is burning around the Judge Letwaba with a bail of Mlefe, that the Judge Letwaba was given 2.5 million to grant that bail. So there is that the magistrates are not very sympathetic to the work of the police. So if we can enhance those laws, let's do. But the laws are there. I hope people that are there to implement those laws can do the best.
Let me check with the Chief Whip first. Did you want to make a follow-up on the question before I... Honorable Sangoni, Honorable Nomval.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. No, I think we've heard you, General, on the bail. I suspect that the Chief Whip is also looking forward now to also our report. Beyond bail, are you seeing any legislative or institutional reforms that you think this Parliament should be considering to strengthen the police service, given your experience in there?
Of the bail or policy in general?
Not bail, beyond the bail issue, which is one matter. All of these challenges that Honorable Nduli was asking about, that you've spoken at length over the last 2 days, is there anything that you think from a law perspective or an institutional reform perspective we should be considering?
Chairperson, I've said this time and again, or I heard Mkwanazi talking about it here. I said this is a good learner. I've said it time and again. Sometimes I think those that I belong with them in the organization, they'll think I'm a rebel on it. We created the situation where victims are treated worse than the perpetrators. Perpetrators in South Africa are having it nice. And the victims are thrown under the bus by the system. Most of your kids here, they are at school, private school, you have houses, you have cars and all that. If one of you are shot and killed, that killer will be taken to police station. The first thing that will do will complain about cold water. Want a hot water. That's the first thing that I can't use cold water here. I want a hot water. And indeed, you run around like a headless chicken getting hot water for him. The second one will say, I don't eat this, I eat this. When he's sick, most of them are taken to private hospitals where they have never been. Go there. When they're sentenced, they sit with TV and they watch everything and still go enjoy their medication and all that. When they stay longer, they study until we have just been given the numbers of those that will be writing matric, and others, they come out with PhDs and all that. Where are the kids of the father that was shot by that person? Nobody knows. We have the track record and the follow-up of a perpetrator until gets the parole. But we don't know about the kids that as their father dies, they are taken out of their private school because they can't pay. Their cars is repossessed. Their house is repossessed. And kids, we call them paras. The system is wrong. We just need to go back. It's sympathetic and it's good to perpetrators vis-a-vis the victims. I think that should be really, well, that is not a sour crepe because people that follow my statements, public speaking, I've said that thing time and again. The police die young. Maybe that's why we have subset and all that kind of thing. Even that, by the way, Honorable Malema, it's fun that we don't have the special education trust from the government that teaches the offense of the police that die on the line of duty. When we pay about 13,000 rand a month for a single prisoner. And those that are innocent, they get 350 rand. Then it's fine to go to prison. We pay 13,000 rands per prisoner a month. We paid 350 rand for a person that does not work and is hungry with the family. So people, they get comfort out of crime, out of committing crime. So I think we need to go back and check the system and see what we can do with the system as a whole. Thanks.
Honorable Nomvalo, Honorable Malema.
Yeah, thank you once again, Chair. I just want to establish from the General. When General Nhlanhla was here, he said the reason why they formed this multidisciplinary approach or task team, it's because they were faced with an undesirable scenario where they arrest people today and see them out on bail on the following day. So one of the reasons why they formed it is because they wanted to circumvent that. Now, the question is, during your tenure, I know that you left it while it was doing its job. Is that kind of formation able to diffuse this thing that you call an animal, this one of a bail? And from a genuine and objective perspective point of view, I agree with you as a person who has been practicing as an attorney for 10 years. So I agree with your frustration because it is a prevalent problem that we have in our legal system. But is this an ideal formation that we can advise even to task teams which are currently in existence to say, because you are dealing with critical issues and we don't want to open gaps and loopholes, we must make sure that we have a multidisciplinary approach that will have SAPS, NPA, so that there will be no possibility for frivolous bails that are issued to criminals who will come back and be dangerous to society. Thank you very much.
We would term it a prosecutorial directed kind of investigations when they work together. Remember that in this task team initial, honorable member, there were this almost how many, 116 or 126 police with about 8 prosecutors working there. That did improve the situation. I think it's much better when the police investigators work together with the prosecutors. Mkwanazi was correct, and the situation improved when the team was formed.
And the other thing you're proposing is that we need to democratize that thing of hiring of DDGs, where a national commissioner just can't appoint a person alone. Perhaps if we open it to a couple of people, depending on what could be the suggestion at a time. The same way Mutulu was hired, where you've got a couple of ministers sitting together, inclusive of the national commissioner or anything to that effect, where these other people get hired, including provincial commissioners. We don't subject them to one individual.
Provincial commissioners or honorable member, they are in the constitution, so they are fine. They are in the constitution. The national commissioner in concurrence with the provincial government, so they agree on that. So again, a minimal play of the minister. They say if they can't agree, the minister comes and mediates. Immediately he mediates. So that will be an issue. So provincial commissioners are catered for. The problem are lieutenants generals who are DTGs. Honorable member, there is a way how DTGs are employed as we speak now. The DTGs, there will be a panel. I think the panel will be, I think DG will be 3 ministers and the DG from the other department. I think there will be 5 in panel, I forget the 5th one. But the DDG, it could be a minister of that department and with the deputies of that department, and is a little bit junior. But it's happening. The call here is that even with the police, it must happen as it happened across the government. You don't need to come with the new methods. Those methods exist. How they exclude police is a problem, because it's only you that you decide that I'm the TTG today. And indeed, you keep reminding me, but by the way, you are TTG because I like it. So it is a problem.
Thank you so much, Chief Whip.
No, thanks, Chair. General, there was a long discussion here with Minister Mchun about the appointment of a Chief of Staff. What has been your own practice in the appointment of your own Chief of Staff? Maybe if you can recall in the police, because that's the recent job you have left.
Chief of Staff, there is a panel that Chief of Staff goes through, getting interviews and all that, and then they will recommend, and you've got, while there is a panel, you've got a very big say with the Chief of Staff that you agree with, but you don't sit on it. But as a minister, you do put the panel that will work on the matter, because it's a minister's employment, the Chief of Staff. But I can't wake up the next morning and shout that Mbele now is the Chief of Staff. There is a process nonetheless.
So the process is basically to look at the things that should not be bothering you, like check qualifications and all these other things. Now, who goes into that panel, not as a member, but to be considered as a Chief of Staff? Mangit who, I mean, do you have to submit 3 names, 1 name? Who else? And how do people get to hear about it if I want to throw my name as well in the panel and be considered for the Chief of Staff of a minister?
I think it could be, Chief of Staff, it could be both, depending on the minister. You can internally advertise, or you can advertise externally.